First thing on the agenda. Review the minutes. Have you reviewed the minutes, Tom?
Yep.
Do you have any issues?
Nope, we had one correction.
Yep. Everything else
Make a-
okay?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 18th with the one correction.
No. Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have you signed all the bills there, Tom?
Yep.
Okay. Signed the warrants, we signed the abatements, signed the refund. So we have a gentleman here. Kristen. Yes.
Zero. That's all right, I can't either.
You wanna come right up here? and-
Sure.
We got to vote on this, Matt. I'm going to recuse myself. I've done work for Larry and Kristen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I can't even tell you stuff.
Then we'll
It looks so different.
have to table this because we can't take an action with only one person. If Art was here, we could do it.
Okay.
So, why don't you come back next meeting and if Art's here, then he can excuse himself and I can.
Okay, and
Listen,
what date would that be?
16th,
The 16th?
2 weeks from tonight,
Okay.
same time.
Same time.
Mhm.
Okay, all right,
All
thank you.
right,
Good
so-
seeing you. How you been?
Good, you? Sorry about
I'm
that.
still alive, but it's just been crazy. Thank you.
All right. Alright. So the next thing as far as old business, the medicine, I've been so busy at the tree farm, I haven't had a chance to get back down there to Life Care, but I will be doing that very soon and hitting the other animal hospitals. Update on the replacement well?
All right, so I emailed today and they're waiting for the design to come back from the surveyors. And then they'll locate some of the gates and stuff, but at that point, once they get the design back, then they'll pick a site for the new well.
So they're really just doing an as-built at this point.
Right.
Not really doing a design, right? And then
Right, it's
decide-
not really it. Basically, it's an as-built of the thing, and then they just need the GIS coordinates to where they're positioning the new well.
So that's it, huh?
That's it on that one.
Update on the water permit?
So it was submitted without the mitigation, so they'll follow up with continuing on to get the mitigation signed off, and it'll go from there. So it was submitted on time, and DEP accepted it, so,
Oh, really?
well, they didn't approve it, they have it.
Oh, okay. Update on new water source?
Well, they're waiting for the permit to be approved, and then they'll move forward with that.
How about the new vehicle?
Alright, so I got a price, but MHQ hasn't done a vehicle like what we're trying to get. So I may have to go to like 2 vendors to get the body. I might have to buy the truck from MHQ and then go to somebody else, an outfitter, to get the body put on. I sent them a cut sheet hoping that maybe they'd reach out to that body style.
And
And
usually they'll put them together and do it for you.
right, that's what but they didn't answer. I'll email them again and say, would you work with them? Because I'm sure that they'd work with somebody else if they can add somebody in. Other than that, there's like DeJano down in,
Yeah.
And I
Who you
go-
going, where's MHQ?
they're up in Marlboro. So I think the other one is like up in New Hampshire or something that does that napkin.
Talk to Dejana, because they do a bunch of those boys.
Yeah, and that's the name I see, and I've seen them on trucks around here. So I might reach out to them and then see if I can at least get a price, because I wanna get moving. It shouldn't drag out this long, but now kinda stymied because of that.
Where are we at with insurance for the other one?
So the last I heard, I think they had made like a preliminary offer of like 15 or 16,000.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's not
Better than I
good.
thought it was gonna
That's
be.
real good.
Well, the van was in good shape. It didn't have rust, rot, the seats were intact, the floors were intact. It's not like any of our other vans where the seats are usually shredded to wheat and the floors are all ripped to hell and back. The van was in good shape. Now it looks like a giant.
Okay, well, at least we got enough. So we probably paid, what, 50?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think it was around
back
50
through,
we
but
paid for that.
Hmm.
Well, it's not too bad, it's 10 years old.
right.
I got that over the weekend from David Gavin.
Oh. That's the town on general fund, how do they end up with $2 million? Texas is too much.
Because they keep going up on the taxes.
Yeah, Jesus.
And I think we should institute a follow along with the tax thing with our rates.
Okay, well, now we got a number anyways, 709,000?
Yeah, so that's the total.
Yeah. So now we gotta figure out what the customers for the overpaid for sprinkler fees and stuff like that, how much that goes into being set aside to paint the tank and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
I did print it. So, I mean, when I do our commitment, so our current, but I estimated out, so the 2 quarters where we actually take in a lot of excess was August and November, and they were flat. We didn't, it rained every other day. So if I estimate out, the next 2 quarters are usually flat because it's winter time, nobody's really using outside water. I'm looking at about 1.8 million in revenue.
uh-oh.
Our current budget is 2.09.
2 point what?
That's not good.
200,000 shy plus.
Right, so I mean, I can hold back spending, but I don't think I'll make up $200,000, and so you may end up taking some of that free cash to bolster it, or you're gonna have to, I mean, if it stops raining, then it'll turn around. I looked back through the years and you can see it moves up and down, but usually in the summer, we don't have as much rain as we took this
Right.
summer.
So we're probably gonna have to raise rates up a little bit. If it happens again, if we have another wet summer,
Right,
the rates aren't high enough to cover the expenses.
right, we can't keep carrying a loss.
Right, you can't do
But
it.
we can
So, when is the first water bill, Joel?
So the next 2 come out in February, and then the last one goes out in May.
Okay, then we'd raise the rate for the next fiscal year. right?
Yeah, you'd have to do it ahead of, before,
Right,
so you can warn them ahead of the August billing.
yeah, so we'd have to do it after this next bill. For the following bill, because you gotta give them notice before you raise the rate.
Right,
You gotta give them notice
before they start.
before they use it,
Yeah,
at least they'll know.
but it's not, it has to do with the rain. I mean, if suddenly we go into a drought summer and everybody turns on this, that's what happened the last time, when the rate went up. We went into a drought summer in 2016, the rate went up. People were notified repeatedly that it had gone up, and yet they didn't stop sprinkling their lawns, and then, of course, we ended up with a lot of surplus and a lot of screaming people, but we can't predict the weather, it's
Right.
not predictable.
Okay.
I'm sure if we could, we'd all wish for no snow tomorrow morning.
You got anything else?
Alright, so the replacement fan, so the insulating of the West Street Bridge is about 75% done. the guy keeps coming back on Saturday, so we've arranged for a detail cop for him to be there. The next one, he'll be off the road pretty much, so we won't need an office for that.
He's been doing it on Saturdays?
Yeah.
Why?
I guess they're flat out, and he's only had one guy that could come out and do it, so he said they have so much work that it's not funny, and that's maybe why nobody else would answer me back, because
No, this is getting done.
right. Job description. So I have the only people that I've gotten, I haven't had anybody with a degree. I think there was one woman applied with a degree. The rest don't have any, what I consider no skills that I want that would help me. I sent out resumes to electricians. I received 2 back out of, I think I sent out 10 or 12. I received 2 back that they weren't interested. If I was an electrician.
You weren't interested?
Right. If I was an electrician, or I was somebody who just went to school with a degree, I would not want to take a job called laborer. I would like you guys to ask town hall to change our guy's name.
The title.
Right. We're not. I mean, we do everything DPW does. Then water treatment, distribution.
So it's more technical than just
It's
labor.
more
It's not a
technical.
laborer's job.
It is not laborers.
It's half laborers.
You could try it that if, once they achieve their first grade 2 license, that their title changes from laborer to water technician, something less demeaning.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you, so, you pass them down here, this one for Kelly. That's the starting salary for a current job in Somerville. That's more than I make. And that's not the only job app that's come through that way. I mean, compared to the area, we pay pretty well, so I don't think we have a
Yeah, I
problem.
mean, we can't compare
We
ourselves
can't.
to Somerville, really.
Right. They do have one where it's in a treatment plant, and it's a 3-day work week. If it comes up again, I'd be hard pressed to stay.
Yeah, the difference between you making going here, you start traveling in and out of the city, see what that costs you.
Yeah, but it's a 3-day work week, so you kinda... I know, I'm just showing you that, so it's not, the current one, Easton has one too, that's almost in the same salary range. But it's labeled as an operator, but a lead operator, but it's more, I think, the superintendent replacement.
Now, this is a D4, what are we, D2?
We're D2s,
Yeah.
so I have 2 people that could apply for that job. But I think, I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, I can send a letter off to David that their contract is running out, so they're gonna enter contract negotiations again, but I think we should ask for our guy's title to be changed.
To what?
What?
To what?
Water technician.
Yeah, what do they label it here? Water
Their
operator.
primary water operator.
The only trouble that they're gonna have with that is once you get a primary, you label them like that,
Yeah.
they think that they're gonna hang around the plant all the time, and when you need them out in the street, you're gonna say, no, I'm an operator, I'm not gonna go out and fix
Yeah,
a
but
leak.
that's not the way the job description reads. I mean, well, you guys have seen what I have for a description. I think I cover everything.
Okay, just don't want you to get yourself in a corner
I understand, but I
where, I mean, when I was a superintendent, I used to go out and get down the hole and fix the leak. If I had
Right.
to fix the leak,
I still,
didn't matter what the title was, but I know that when you're in a union
yeah,
and you have a title, you know, they could say, oh, I'm a plant operator, I'm not.
but a water technician is not plant operator or thing. We're calling him a technician. We're giving him some dignity with the title, but it doesn't distinctly say that you're a plant operator or you're this or you're that. Water technician still covers, it's a catch-all to cover everything.
All I'm saying is just gotta be careful, that's all.
I understand, and the 3 guys that are here, I don't think would have an issue. And whoever we hire is gonna come in under the job description that I have printed out, which covers almost everything from cleaning the toilets to
I think it makes sense to change the title a little bit, but
climbing the
like
ladder.
Rick said, be a little careful what you call it.
I mean, we can enter into discussions with that, but Other than that, I'm not getting any more applicants sending in anything, and I have like 40 something. If you guys think I've missed something, you can go through them. But it's nothing. I really wanted an electrician or somebody with electrical skills. I can try reaching out to a different vocational school.
But you're not gonna find any electricians with water licenses, really.
Right, you're not, but if there were a few older gentlemen, I mean, if you're done trying to pump pipe up big skyscrapers or whatever, or you've done your own business and now you wanna settle in and have benefits at the end, it's a good place to end up. When I did look for like skater operator or skater things, we'd never pay anybody enough for that one. I kept searching different parameters trying to find somebody that would help a little.
We'll have Art talk to,
Okay.
Gagney about changing the title to see what he,
Yeah, let's see what that says too. We'll
All right.
talk about that with Art next meeting.
yeah.
Yep, we're fine in the meantime. We're in the winter mode, so we're doing maintenance. If the weather holds up, we're gonna go out and start turning gates. We're not going out to break any, but we're gonna go out and start turning them.
Don't turn any 2-inch.
Yeah, no, we don't. Even with a hand wrench, 2 inches don't make it.
Right, so be careful.
Are you using the gate exerciser?
Yeah. The problem is, we did exercise some already, but what they don't realize is you have to look at the date. If the machine blanks out, the date reverts to like a 2008 date, which is the same date as everything else that's in there, so we'll start again and I'll be careful of that. The other thing is snowstorms and my manpower. So I'm not sure when it became practice for our guys to disappear during the day to go out plowing streets, but we're a water department. We hire our guys to do water work. I prefer that at least 2 of our guys stay here with me.
How many guys are on plow?
Well, usually they all go, but then that leaves nobody here. Which
All meaning,
well, if I have 4 guys, our entire crew disappears.
we've got 4 plows.
Well, the DPWs usually supply some trucks.
What are we plowing with that? 2 of them? The 6-wheeler and the,
Yeah, so they take
What
the F800 and then they take the 550.
That was all with the, done to the selectmen complaining that we weren't cooperating, we didn't help out. That's why that all,
In a snowstorm, I can't keep up. I can't get from one side of the town to the other to keep the stations clear either.
I know that.
but they got regular work they need to do in the stations every day, right?
Right, and that's a 2-man with,
Well, they gotta do that, that's gotta come first, and then they can go plow.
Right, that's what we used to do, they used to go do the stations in the morning,
yeah,
do all their stations, then they get released to go do the plowing, but they would, and if they plowed during the night and morning came,
yeah.
they had a break and then go do the stations, and then they could go back to plowing. But they're always here.
Can you have that conversation with Chris and let him know?
Yeah,
Just, keep that same
yeah,
thing going, so you're not without guys.
right.
Right, and I think they used to stay, they had to stay at the time and a half, but they just stayed on the time and a half with the snow plowing. They just
Right.
came over and it took them an hour and a half, and
Yeah, it doesn't
whatever
break
it
the
took them to
chain.
do the stations.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the overtime. I just,
Yeah.
But our work's gotta get done too. Then we
Right.
can go plow, yeah.
One of the things that always used to happen to us in the very beginning of the season, it always seemed like the first snowstorm that somebody would hit a hydrant.
yeah,
And they always, somebody would hit the hydrant first thing. And we'd end up going out and having to shut it down and everything, and, you know, if it didn't stop leaking, we'd have to fix it.
right.
But then after people would get used to driving a little bit in the snow, it's not quite so bad, but I remember a couple of years,
No, I did remember that somebody got the one on Spring Street down by Harvestwood, somebody got the one in front of the Shaw's office building.
yeah, they got the one up on, Union Street, no, on, up by Bob Smith's house.
Yeah.
They got that one. And that was like the first snowstorm of the year, first thing in the morning.
Well, we made it through that one, so it's all downhill from here. That's all I have.
Right. What about, color coding the hydrants? I've been noticing there's still a lot of red hydrants around.
Yep, we'll get to that too.
Okay, well, nope, the out-of-town firemen don't know what size water mains they're tied to.
Oh, so,
That could be a problem.
so the hydrant we winterized up by the big mulch pile. It's a good thing
Oh,
we
yeah.
did because the mulch pile burned.
Huh?
It was still burning today, I guess. But it rained out all day, so I'm not sure if they actually used the hydrant again, but it was a good thing we had gone up there and winterized that hydrant.
They used it, fire department used it?
Yep.
How bad a fire was it?
I don't know, cause I never made it up there today.
So now you're gonna winterize it again?
Yep. But that's okay, as long as we weren't blamed for anything, it's all
Where,
good.
where are we at with that?
So I drafted a letter, I'm gonna send them a letter tomorrow telling them that they need to tie in. I'm gonna warn them that, Pleasant Street has a moratorium on it. I'm not sure when it expires. Maple Street does not. However, the medical marijuana facility that's going in Class A masonry, the requirements for that are for them to pave that road, so.
Wait a minute. The marijuana place is going in where the masonry place is?
Yeah,
Next to it or in?
no, in it. He's taking,
Oh,
it's
really?
taking over the
They
whole
bought the
thing.
building?
They changed the bylaws in town to get it to go.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't near, I mean, it's
No,
within
it's-
500 feet, but it's on the other side of the highway.
They modified the bylaws.
And at this point, I don't think there's a new one right in Brockton on the corner, there's another one right down the street in Brockton, there's one in Bridgewater right over the line.
Bridgewater, there's one within
Yeah,
a quarter mile of it, there's a bird flies.
right. So I don't think it's a big
So
thing.
what's this, they're gonna grow it there or they're just gonna,
Yeah, their whole thing, they grow it and sell
And
it
sell
from there.
huh? I heard there's no more money in it.
No, because there's so much electricity in the
Yeah,
lights.
the price drop. They said they're just about giving it away now, there's so many people doing it.
Yeah, but it's
But I-
still, most of the buildings aren't solar, so your cost, the lights generate, you need high-powered lights which generate heat, which use electricity, so. Yeah, doesn't matter to me, but. So I'll send them out a letter, probably tomorrow, notifying them that they're gonna have to tie in, and I'm gonna warn them about the two things that have happened that would affect them.
He probably doesn't use water in the winter anyway, what's he use, probably in the spring he'll want it, right?
It depends upon when he gets enough mulch that he starts turning it over and coloring it.
Yeah. Probably
But-
spring they'll be full bore with that.
I've also notified him that if he puts his tanker on the road, he can just go right up the street to Manley Street and get bulk water from us, and then it doesn't cost him anything except for the water.
I'll see what he wants to do.
Yeah, but how much you charging for that water? You're charging them double what we're charging the customers, right?
Yeah, I think it's $10 cubic foot.
The hydrant?
No, the
Oh.
bulk water.
Anybody buying bulk water?
There's still, so Noonan buys some, not lately, because I could see the thing, because I just did the report, but there's another guy who does landscape, I forget what they landscape. Well, they hydro seed is for the electric company. There's some company that keeps using it.
Yeah.
I mean, when they come in, companies come in from out of town, we should be making a profit to lower the ratepayers' water bills, you know?
Yeah.
Make a little bit on it. And it's a convenience for the contractors who need it.
Right.
They can just drive in and get what they want, you know?
Oh, and so the 2021 budget, they want to have the town meeting before Memorial Day. So they're gonna try to expedite the budget process.
Ha! We just got the sheet for gosh
I
sake.
understand that, so next meeting I'll have a preliminary budget, but it's kinda hard to tell because the previous year, we had the leak, so we used a ton of things, so we spent more money. this year, it rained so much that we were on the other end of the spectrum.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't have a leak this year then.
Yeah. And now I can't think of anything else.
So when are they talking about starting the, have they given you dates when they wanna meet with the finance committee and stuff?
I think it's gonna roll up pretty quickly.
Like when, not before January 1st?
No, not before January 1st, but somewhere in there. I'll nail it down at our next meeting. I'll see if I can get a date out of them.
Well, if they had given us our numbers earlier, we would,
Right.
you know, be able to give them a better answer earlier.
Right, I think they're still trying to find out through the high school because
It's
before.
all right for them
Memorial Day-
to, you know, take an extra 6 months, and then all of a sudden they want us to,
I think that had to do with the school tied.
I know it
I don't
did.
know whether,
I know it did, but it doesn't make any difference who it had to do with. But now they're pushing us to get ours done, you know, pronto. They should have got theirs done pronto when we would already had ours done now. Just typical. Anything else?
no,
Tom? Okay,
Next meeting?
what'd you say, 16th?
Mhm.
Okay, next meeting's gonna be December 16th. Excuse me. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.